One of the things that you're going to be required to do in Algebra 1 is to transfer from standard form, I'm going to make this darker, standard form, to slope-intercept form. Normally, because we use slope-intercept form every time we're trying to graph our equations, and we use standard form when we're trying to find intercepts. Now keep in mind, the y-intercept that you find in slope-intercept form would be the same y-intercept you find in standard form. So first of all, I'm going to teach you how to go from standard form to slope-intercept form. So remember that standard form is in the format of ax plus by equals c, where a, b, and c are all integers, and slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, where b is the y-intercept and m is equal to the slope. Okay, so as a way of practicing, one of the things that we need to do is first look at a equation of a line in in standard form. So when we have 4x plus 5y equals negative 30. Now, way back in chapter 2, we were learning how to solve literal equations, where we would solve equations when there was more than one variable. So here, when you're putting things in slope-intercept form, you're in essence solving for y. Okay? So the first thing I need to do is add or subtract the x term. Now, because this x term, this 4x right here, is positive, I'm going to subtract 4x from each side of the equation, like this. And what happens is this goes away, and I get the equation 5y is equal to negative 4x minus 30. Now, I can't combine these two because these are not like terms, so they're just two separate terms. Now, finally, to solve for y, remember, this is 5 times y. So how do I undo times? I divide. So I'm going to divide everything here by 5. Okay, so y is equal to negative 4/5 x minus 6. So that tells me that my slope is negative 4/5, and my y-intercept is the 0.06. Okay, now let's do at least one or two more of these, because I think it's really important that you guys are comfortable with them. So let's do one more. So here we're going to have negative 6x plus 4y is equal to 20. So the first thing you're going to do is move the x term to the right. Okay, and I'm doing that by either using addition or subtraction. Okay, now this 6x is negative, right? Because I look to the left of that number. So what I'm going to do is add 6x to both sides of the equation. Once again, I combine these, but these are not like terms. So I get 4y is equal to a positive 6x plus 20. Now you're going to notice that I usually put the x term first because I want to put it in slope-intercept form, right? So mx plus b. It's not wrong if I did 20 plus 6x, but it's just a little bit different than what we're used to seeing. And then the final step is divide by the coefficient of y, which means we're just going to divide by the number that's in front of y. So when we do this, we're going to reduce, we get y is equal to 6/4. Now we're going to reduce this fraction to 3/2 x plus 5. So my slope is 3/2 and my y-intercept is 0.5. Now keep in mind that this doesn't always end up being really, really pretty. So let me show you another one. What happens if there's no coefficient in front of the x term? Well, there is a coefficient. If the x term's there, there's a coefficient. If we don't see it, we assume that it's 1. Now, it's important that it's easier to go ahead and write in that 1. So I'm going to subtract 1x from each side of the equation. Again, these are not like terms, so I get 5y is equal to negative 1x minus 15. All right? And then my last step is to divide by the coefficient of y. So this is why we want to have that 1 in front of there. It's much easier to identify our slope, right? So we have negative 1/5 x minus 3, where my slope is negative 1/5, and my y-intercept is 0, -3. Okay? So hopefully that gives you a good idea of what you need to do. And please make sure that if you have any questions, that you watch this video again and make sure you take notes.